Have you ever wondered why some people achieve great success while others, equally talented, remain stuck in the same place? Often, the difference isn't intelligence or opportunity, it's habits. Today's story is about a young boy named Arav, whose journey will show you the true power of small, consistent actions and daily discipline. Once upon a time, in a quiet little Indian town called Chandanpur, there lived a boy named Arav, and Chandanpur was surrounded by green fields and narrow, winding streets. Arav was bright, full of ideas, and had dreams bigger than the sky. He wanted to become someone important, admired, and successful. He often imagined himself standing proudly in front of a crowd, giving speeches, or walking confidently into a big office. But there was one problem. He was incredibly lazy. Every morning, his mother would knock on his door and shout, "Arav, get up! The sun is already shining and the day won't wait for you." And every morning, Arav would mumble, "Just 5 more minutes," and roll back under the blanket, drifting into dreams of wealth and glory without lifting a finger. Despite his laziness, Arav admired the people of his town. He watched the local shopkeepers who worked tirelessly from morning to night, serving customers with patience and care. He saw the teachers who dedicated themselves to their students, and even the police officer who walked with pride and discipline in his uniform. Arav wanted to be like them, but he never took the consistent steps needed to reach such success. One day he would decide to study hard, and the next he would spend hours flying kites or playing cricket with friends, because he had dreams but no plan. At the edge of the town, there lived an elderly man named Gopal Kaka, a retired army officer known for his discipline and wisdom. Every morning before the first rays of the sun touched the earth, he would wake up, sweep his yard, water his plants, do push-ups, and read a few pages of a book. His life seemed simple yet purposeful. One afternoon, Arav walked past Gopal Kaka's house and watched him move with precision and calm. Curiosity sparked within him, and he asked, "Kaka, why do you follow the same routine every day? Don't you get bored? Don't you ever want to sleep in?" Gopal Kaka smiled, wiped his forehead, and said, "Arav, habits are like seeds. What you plant today will grow tomorrow. You may not see it now, but one day your habits will either feed you or leave you wanting." Success doesn't come from luck. It comes from the small actions we repeat consistently. Arav didn't fully understand, but the words struck a chord. That night he lay awake, thinking about all the times he had quit halfway through a task, the unfinished projects, the half-read books, and the abandoned dreams. What if success wasn't about talent or opportunity? What if it was about showing up every day, even when it felt impossible? The next morning, Arav woke before sunrise, and though his body protested, aching for more sleep, he remembered Gopal Kaka's words. He washed his face, tied his shoes, stepped outside, felt the cool morning air hit his face, and began to run. At first, he could barely make it 200 meters without gasping for breath. His legs burned, his chest heaved, but he didn't stop. Day after day, he repeated the run, feeling a little stronger, a little faster, and a little more alive. After a week of running, Arav decided to add another habit, studying 1 hour every day. He didn't tell anyone, he didn't announce it, he simply did it. He chose a quiet corner in his home and dedicated himself to learning, focusing on subjects he had once neglected. The weeks turned into months, and Arav faced setbacks. Some days he was too tired to run. Some days his mind wandered during study. Friends invited him to play, tempting him to skip his routine, but he remembered Gopal Kaka's words. Small habits repeated consistently are more powerful than bursts of effort followed by laziness. Slowly, discipline became natural, and Arav noticed his mind sharpening, his body gaining strength, and his confidence growing. His friends began to notice the change, and Sonu, his closest friend, once asked, "Arav, how did you transform? You used to be the king of laziness." Arav smiled and said, "I didn't change overnight. I just repeated small actions every day until they became part of me. One day, a notice arrived in the town about a competitive scholarship program for students who excelled both physically and academically. The challenge involved running, physical endurance tests, and written exams. Many students were nervous, thinking they would need to cram at the last minute, but Arav remained calm because his daily habits had prepared him. The morning of the fitness test arrived. The sun had barely risen, and Arav stood among dozens of anxious and fidgeting students. The whistle blew, some sprinted with energy but grew exhausted quickly, while others stumbled and gave up too soon. Arav maintained a steady pace, conserving his energy and letting the discipline of months guide him forward. He finished stronger than most, his consistency paying off when motivation alone would have failed. Next came the written exam, and while others panicked and tried to memorize everything at once, Arav calmly reviewed what he had studied every day. 1 hour daily for months had built a foundation that no last-minute cramming could ever achieve. When the results were announced weeks later, Arav had not only passed but scored among the top students. He ran to Gopal Kaka with tears in his eyes and said, "Kaka, I did it! I never thought I could. Your words, they were true." Gopal Kaka smiled and said, "Remember, Arav, motivation starts you, but habits keep you going when motivation fades. Small daily actions repeated consistently shape the path to success." From that day on, Arav became an example for the whole town. He helped friends and younger students understand that transformation doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent actions. Wake up 15 minutes earlier, read a few pages, walk 10 minutes, or do 10 push-ups, or write down a goal. These small acts repeated day after day create extraordinary change over time. Years passed, and Arav grew into a responsible and respected professional who achieved more than he had ever dreamed. But he never forgot the lesson Gopal Kaka taught him. Big results are not the product of sudden inspiration or talent alone. They are the fruit of daily habits, patience, and consistent effort. So, remember this story. Your future is written by the small actions you take every day. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Start now. Walk 10 minutes, read 5 pages, do 10 push-ups, or wake up 15 minutes earlier. These are the seeds of success. If you nurture them daily, they will grow into habits, and your life will transform in ways you never imagined. Success doesn't require you to be extraordinary. It requires you to show up every day, no matter how small the effort. Motivation might spark the fire, but habits keep it burning for a lifetime.